I'm Allende, CEO of Hitch Radio. The world is changing. We live in a shareable society. Radio is heard by 94% of the US, but its live nature makes it really hard to share. So we've created Hitch Radio, the world's first instant messaging app for live broadcast radio. Type in anything you want to hear, and Hitch Radio will search 20,000 radio stations globally, so you can hitch a ride on the radio station playing it right now. And when you find something you love, you can send an instant message to your friend. When they open the message, they'll hear everything you're listening to in real time, and if they hitch a ride with you, then you become their driver and can take them from radio station to radio station all around the world. Imagine driving down the street listening to the app through your Bluetooth speakers, and all of a sudden your radio station changes, but you didn't change it. Katy Perry changed it because you can hitch a ride on a celebrity. We call them star drivers, and they can take you with them as they hitch rides all over the world. Download Hitch Radio today.
And welcome to today's Power Pitch. I'm Mandy Drury. You just heard the pitch, but let's meet the panel now. On set with us, Alicia Surrett, board member of the New York Angels. She advises and invests in over 24 startups. Also on set, mentor and venture capitalist Jessica Pelt. She's from KBS Ventures, a firm that invests in early-stage startups in advertising and marketing. And in Seattle is angel investor Nat Burgess. He's the president of Quorum Group, a firm involved with more than $1 billion in mergers and acquisitions. He advises web-based businesses, many that have sold to Google, Microsoft, and Yahoo, all the heavy hitters. Okay, great to have you with us today, Allende. Jessica.
So there's a lot of legal challenges around the music industry. How are you handling things like licensing and copywriting and royalties for these artist payments, especially around things like star drivers?
We pay radio stations 75% of our revenue, and they actually pay 100% of the royalties to the artist for every song that's played. So there is no royalty challenge for us because we approach it as a solution for radio, not a music service.
Alicia.
So what have your revenues been to date, and what have been the main sources of those revenues?
Until we launch with the scale that we're looking at, looking to do in this quarter, we're essentially pre-revenue.
So who do you see being your core consumer for something like this? Are you going after millennials, and what's going to be your user acquisition strategy to get that brand recognition? Sure.
We're totally going after millennials right now. They're the ones who are sending instant messages that disappear, just like you can do with Hitch Radio. And the acquisition is pretty simple. It's radio stations who are promoting their own participation with Hitch Radio on their airwaves, and it's also the star drivers, right? So it's that Katy Perry who goes to her Twitter and she tells everybody, "Hey guys, hitch a ride with me. I'm star driving right now." And she's sharing that with all of her fans.
I think you're trying to be a lot of things to a lot of people. I love the pitch, by the way. I like the direct consumer experience. But you're going after advertising, you're going after consumers, you're going after radio stations. You're going to live or die based on whether or not you can get a lot of people on your app. And to be blunt, the app is immature, the website is immature. What are you going to do to light a fire and get people engaged?
We're initially launching with the sexiness of stars, with the sexiness of music, but what's underneath all of these advertising revenue models that we have is this huge amount of data. And this data is essentially the programmatic data that you're very familiar with. And so we're going to be able to get into all of that because we started with music, which will lead to a whole bunch of other revenue streams.
Okay, well, we all heard what Allende had to say. Now we need to know if the panel is in or out. Alicia.
So I think radio is a very large and attractive market, and the team certainly has depth of industry knowledge. However, I'm not convinced that this is going to be the breakout app, especially given that there are thousands of music apps vying for consumer attention. So unfortunately, I'm out.
Okay, and what about you, Jessica?
I agree that I believe radio is a viable mass reach media channel, but music is a very competitive, unstable marketplace. To even begin to be able to go against some of the dominant players, you need to have user adoption, you need to have a differentiated approach, you need to have support from the audience. I think there's a lot of unknowns in that still, and I don't see this being a lucrative exit opportunity for investors. So for that reason, I'm out.
What about you, Nat?
I'm ready to give you some credit. I think the app is immature. I think your company is more immature than maybe you present it on your pitch. But you're going into a very interesting space with very few barriers to entry. And as an early stage investor, I would be ready to hitch a ride on Hitch Radio. I'm in.
You're hitching, Nat. Great. Okay, we have 2 outs. We have 1 in. What do you think?
I appreciate everyone's feedback. but it really is going to boil down to what does the consumer think, and do they want to hitch a ride with live free content from all over the world.
Okay, well, best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, well, get hitching. Thanks very much to Ayinde of Hitch Radio and also to our panel, Alicia, Jessica and Nat. And that is today's Power Pitch.